Welcome to another episode of Mr. Therapist and the Counselor Podcast, where we discuss mental health topics and recovery topics, and we are here to deliver you some demystification of the therapy process.
Oh my God!
And
the church,
and we do that through having real, honest, and raw conversations. My name is Manny Romero, and this right here is Jesse O.
Here we go. This is what we do.
What are we
Another
going to talk
episode.
about
We're
today?
talking about so many different things. Oh, well, this is our pre-election discussion.
Oh,
we're here to bring down the anxiety and the stress with what's going on.
Yeah.
Super Tuesday's coming.
Super Tuesday, is that what they call it?
Yeah, they call it Super Tuesday. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the election. Halloween's coming up. We'll touch on that a little bit. A whole lot more.
Who won? Trump or Vance? No. Kamala?
It hasn't happened
Kamala
yet.
Or
it hasn't happened. We'll have a post episode, but this hasn't happened yet.
This hasn't. No, but we're talking about the debate, like we're going to rank, we're going to have polls. I'm just kidding. No, we're not going to do that.
No, we're not going to do that.
But we are going to talk about the anxiety of all this going on. But
thanks for saying exactly what I just said. Mr. Therapist in the house. Are you more awake this week?
I'm so good right now.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what is important right now to talk about?
What?
Please subscribe to the channel, give us a follow, and share the show, man. We love you, so love us. Share the show. What you got for us, bud?
What are we doing, man? How you checking in this week?
Checking in good, man. I'm not tired anymore like I was last week.
Oh my gosh, you were a wreck, bro. It's got embarrassed me sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so tired. Like
sometimes
you guys ever just listen to this episode and go, man,
he really
Jesse's totally carrying this episode again. Like,
you give us, let us know if you think that.
Please, sometimes Mr. Therapist has to carry me.
Yeah,
it's rare.
It's rare.
This guy still doesn't ask me questions. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
What do you think of your childhood memories? And Manny's like, man, I don't have any.
I don't know, dude.
Subscribe to the channel.
Sometimes, life is just, crazy, man.
It's pretty good. It's like your top impersonation.
Yeah.
I like it. What would you call that impersonation of?
That is that's Dank Dave.
It's what?
Dank Dave.
Dank Dave?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wasn't that a client that you had one time?
No, bro.
It's like your Keanu Reeves kind of
Yeah, exactly. How you checking in, bud?
Oh, you said good. That was it? You're done with your checking in?
Can I say this?
Yes.
I'm really tired these days. Are you tired these days? I am so tired these days.
You keep blaming the election coming up, and you feel.
Is that what it is? No, it's not.
Yeah, you did a while back. You mentioned on an episode because I actually listened to the episodes over and over again.
Yeah, I don't.
But you said it was probably more anxiety. You're like, are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? And stress, stress and anxiety couldn't lead to
It's not that, dude. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but the last week, I've just been super tired. I can't get out of bed. Well, I can get it, but I'm it's hard to get to the gym.
Yeah.
Gosh.
How are your calves these days?
Calves are still good.
You're not looking at other people's calves, right?
I stopped doing that.
Good.
Stopped comparing my
but you're not
calves,
getting in the gym.
It's just hard, man. And so my wife calls me out. She's like, "You got ADHD, dog." Yeah, because she so we have this thing in our house where it's please let me know when I'm high ADHD, because there's sometimes where I maintenance it and I'm I'm going to the gym, I'm eating well, I'm doing all the coping skills, and I feel good, and I'm maintaining it. There's times where it's out of control, but I don't notice it. Yeah. And so she'll call me out. She'll be like, "Hey, you haven't gone to the gym this week."
Good. That's
and
good.
I'm like, "Fuck, you're so right." And then she laughs at me. She's like, "You always have this epiphany." And it's the same epiphany. I haven't gone to the gym. That's what's wrong with me, So yeah, so that's where I'm at, dude. I've just been super tired, and I literally feel like I'm crawling to the gym every day. I'm going.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm I don't want to go. So yeah, that's where I'm at. How about you?
I'm not gonna make any excuses for you, but yeah, it's when it's self-care, right? Self-care kind of starts to take a little bit of a back seat, even though we say don't let it take a back seat. Yeah. But we're human beings. We tend to focus on other things instead of ourselves. Yep. Make sure, you already know this, but make corrective action of if it starts to get too bad, hey, maybe do something different. So, but it sounds like your plate is full, but in a good way, though.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to keep myself accountable, man. Yeah, but that's how I'm checking in.
Wait, Sober October, that's a thing that they kind of put out there, right? In the world, it's a popular thing.
Yeah, dude. So I'm wearing this Whoop band that tracks my biometrics.
Okay.
And one of the things it was like, hey, do you want to sign up for the Sober October challenge? And it's like, so I think it's pretty like popular right now.
Yeah, I think I remember somebody. I don't know if it was like on another podcast or I think Joe Rogan did it one time and like. Yeah. So okay, yeah.
That's crazy though to me that like it's hard for people to stop drinking for a month.
You think that?
Yeah.
You think that's crazy?
Yeah.
That ain't that crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's a lifeblood for some people, man.
It's I mean, yeah.
And what I was talking about last week on the show, right? Like, you get caught up in, like, your job and all you do is, like, work. It's kind of like, and if you have kids, it's kind of like, what's the relief? What's the quickest, like, way to, like, feel something or get, like, feel good? I don't want to say good, but, like, you know, like, distract yourself whenever, like, people just
whippets.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, whippets, and then like nitrous oxide, or you know, you grab a 6-pack from the refrigerator. Yeah. But whippets is usually like the more this time of year too. Like, I'm a big Cool Whip guy. Like, as Thanksgiving's getting closer, but like,
dude, do not been. Just giving ideas. Oh, you could do it with whipped cream.
Bro, you open this door, dude. Okay.
I know I'm such a bad enabler.
You're not.
Yeah, but
I don't want to
look, dude. Let me tell you something. You're right about that. Like, we gotta like challenge the idea of we need alcohol in our lives. We don't. You know.
Yeah. Maybe in October could start something really
pops
big.
A beer open.
Huh?
I said pops a beer open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, man. What else? What's going on in your life?
How am I checking in?
Yeah, how are you checking in, dude? I love the glasses.
Thanks, man.
You look a little older. You go for Pittsburgh or what? You a Pittsburgh Pirate?
You let me talk.
What's with the P, dog?
What's up with that? What's up with the socks? What's up?
What's up with the socks, dude? Charlie Brown,
dude.
Thought you were
this
Pikachu.
Is my Halloween costume.
Thought you were Pikachu.
I know it's Pikachu. No, representing Charlie Brown, man. He's not a clown.
Is he
Charlie
from Pittsburgh?
Brown. Why is everybody always picking on him? Charlie Brown?
That's true. Except for that one girl likes him, but she picks on him a lot. Yeah. She always moves the football. Yeah. Poor Charlie.
The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Have you watched that yet?
No.
You've seen that?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, dude.
What is it? A show? A movie?
Yes, dude. Like Peanuts.
A musical?
You know? Okay. Like, can I talk? Peanuts, which is like Charlie Brown and like the whole gang.
They're
Snoopy.
called Peanuts?
Yeah, they're Peanuts cartoons.
Oh, okay.
But they have like a Christmas special. They have a Thanksgiving special.
Yeah.
And then they have the Halloween one, the Great Pumpkin.
Oh,
Charlie
I didn't
Brown.
know that. No.
Never seen that?
Never
it's on
seen
Disney
it.
Plus. Throw it on.
It's like a white thing.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say they don't probably air that in Mexico.
They don't.
You're not from Mexico.
We watch Coco. We watch.
You didn't watch Coco back then.
Yeah, we watch. Dude.
Oh, you watch what's it called?
Yeah, Coco.
Felix the Cat.
No, Felix. What?
I don't fucking know.
No, bro. We watch Dia de los Muertos. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what that is. Day of the Dead essay. Yeah. Okay, I know what's going on, bro. Don't try to speak tongues to me.
Gosh.
All right, so listen. So you should watch it though. Yes, it's a white thing, but you know.
No, I'm just kidding. I did watch Charlie Brown. I was never. It's okay. I'm not like a big Charlie Brown fan.
Just get the fuck.
But I'll watch it for you, man.
No, don't watch.
I love you.
I said watch for your kids. Throw it on for your kids. I didn't say watch it by yourself.
I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah, I got this. All right.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah.
Halloween's coming up.
Yes. What are you gonna be?
The family's dressing up. Does the family dress up with you guys? How do you feel about parents dressing up?
Dude, I don't like dressing up. You remember that one day when I looked like a freaking Mexican secretary? I didn't like Secretary of State.
Were you like Superman?
Yeah, I was trying to be Clark Kent, but that's what happens a lot. Like, my wife has this idea that like I'm gonna be something cool. Like this year, she wants me to be, what's the like Adam? I guess is the name of the ghost from Beetlejuice. You know, there's the guy and the girl. Have you seen Beetlejuice?
I saw the first one.
Yeah, so there's the guy and the girl. They were living in the house and they're ghosts.
The OG one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. That you'd be like Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, okay. But like if I put that like shirt on, I'm gonna look like, you know, like
Mexican Alec Baldwin.
People are gonna think like I'm there to fix the sprinklers. Like it's not gonna be funny, you know. So, so I'm like, babe, I don't think it works. You know, I don't have the complexion, but yeah it's okay.
So
I'll do it for the kids.
Are you guys gonna try to do a Beetlejuice theme?
Yeah, we're gonna try to do a Beetlejuice theme. My daughter, we got her the red wedding dress, Lydia's wedding dress.
I had Beetlejuice socks. I should have rocked those for this episode.
Oh, you should have.
Yeah, but she has the red.
Yeah, I think My other daughter, the baby's gonna be like the book or something.
Who's being Beetlejuice?
No one. I know, that's what I said.
Dude, they don't even think you're Mexican.
I could just paint my face, right?
Yeah. We're like, showtime.
Yeah.
Is that what he says? He does say that,
it's
right?
showtime.
Yeah,
he does.
We were going to do a whole Toy Story thing.
Yeah?
Buzz, Woody, Jesse.
Nice.
My son, he's only a few months old, but we're going to make him be Sid.
Oh, what?
Remember Sid?
Oh, my God. The mean kid?
Just give him the shirt.
Oh, my God.
Just really generic, so.
Damn.
Yeah, I love that
Toy
Toy
Story.
Story.
Little skull shirt? That's awesome. Well, who would you have been? Like Buzz or Woody or what?
Who
would you have been? Yeah.
I'm
Who
Buzz.
are you going to
Buzz
be?
Lightyear,
You're going to be Buzz?
To infinity.
That's awesome.
And beyond.
That's
I
an
can't
investment.
I screwed up the quote on that.
You gonna wear a head cap?
No, I don't. Here's the thing. I think it's great. You know what? I think it's great when parents dress up with their kids. Good for them. They don't worry about like what anybody thinks, and it's like they're just into it. Like me, I'm like, oh, I gotta be cool. So like, I'm just gonna wear a Buzz T-shirt. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at
so
that.
I'm not like a fool. Like I don't want to put the effort into it.
It's just a theme. Yeah.
It's
Me
more,
neither.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's the only reason. I don't want to put like a whole like thing into it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, Halloween's coming up. The scariest thing I know that's out there, biggest monster is Diddy, right? So I wanted to bring up Diddy.
That was the big
Did you
reveal.
Like that? Boom! I set that up.
Big
no,
reveal.
the big. I just wanted to say the whole baby oil thing. Can I just say something on that real quick?
Yeah.
I have an interesting take on this,
Okay.
and I did steal it from somebody.
Okay.
So this, you know about the baby oil? A lot of baby oil, right?
Yeah.
How many gallons of baby oil?
I have no idea.
Just ridiculous, right? More than you
More
wear
than
in
you
a day,
need,
right?
yeah.
But there's suggestion through Diddy's parties that maybe the baby oil actually contained like a GBH kind of like almost a drug induced. Like something was in it, like it was a party drink kind of thing, like the date rape drug. Is it GBH or GHB?
I don't know. GHB, I think.
I should professionally, we should know this a little bit better. I should probably Google it.
You are a drug counselor.
Yeah. But I thought that was very sad. It kind of, fictional monsters is kind of more like we talk about this time of year, but like it's still like kind of very scary to hear like that happens very often. As people will just take advantage of other people like that, and I think maybe just a disclaimer for people still like this time of year. It's just be careful when you're out there as well. So there's a lot of people out there that are very unhealthy, and and I was gonna say unhealthy and not helpful. As I guess maybe I combine the words right there, but yeah, just cover your drinks, like just be careful out there. So
crazy, man. Crazy, because how many people knew about Diddy? Like how many people?
I mean that's a whole thing that we could talk about. We discussed like the event as well, like what was saw on video. But I just hope people come to justice, and it's kind of like sometimes you don't know who people are and what they do. Yeah. And people get taken advantage of. So learn to set boundaries. Surround yourself with healthy people.
Yes.
Everything cool in the okay. So
gosh.
Everything's cool. Are you just checking stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up something we're gonna talk about.
Okay, good deal. Keep talking.
All good.
So yeah,
Keep
anyways, but Halloween's coming up. Have fun out there. Wear your Charlie Brown socks if you got them. Dress up with your family. However you celebrate. We talked about scary movies, I think, last year, right? Do you ever sit down and watch some scary movies? What's the last scary movie you saw?
You're gonna laugh. Halloween Town 2.
What the fuck? What is that?
You don't know Halloween Town?
Like a Lifetime movie?
No, it's a Disney Channel movie, dude.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah, so
I'm just kidding. What are you talking about?
I got kids, dude.
I know you got kids. Why would I hate on you for watching? I meant you. Did you watch?
I don't know why. Scary? Did you hate on me for watching that right now?
I didn't hate on you. I just like talking shit.
The last one that I watched that was scary.
Yeah.
It's probably with you. Didn't we watch a scary movie one time? Yeah.
It's like 3 years.
Old, yeah. Was that scary? Was that scary?
Oh no, we watched Nope.
Yeah, Nope. Was that scary?
I don't think it was. It was actually on the other day. I started watching it, and I was like, I'm not into this movie at all.
Yeah.
It's too
I don't like scary movies.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
I told you I watched that Long Legs, right, with Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, was it good?
Shit's freaked me out, dude.
Yeah.
It was kind of disturbing that I watched it a couple of different times, but warm up for Halloween. Watch some scary movies. Be safe out there.
Yeah. The Ring.
The
Ring was good.
You're taking it back.
I'm sorry, I don't watch movies.
It's okay. It was funny that you just threw out The Ring. You remember that Korean girl, don't you? She scared the shit out of you.
All the hair in front of her face. Yep, that's not good.
Was she Korean? No, I think she was white. I'm thinking of another movie. What's the other movie that's like a knockoff of The Ring?
With the puppets, like the.
Dude, this could go down so many ways.
Yeah.
This is great. This is what's great about you and I. Is like I'll think one thing and then you'll think something completely different. So, one other thing too I want to mention that's important, just because we brought it up a lot on the podcast, was Matthew Perry. Remember we talked about him passing away?
Oh yeah, we talked about him a lot.
We did, but like the charges came out too. I just made me make a mention like there are some people they are charging with.
Of the doctors?
Yeah.
About
I mean, I don't know if you said like
the ketamine stuff?
Yeah, there was actually like I posted something on our TikTok about what was said about like one of the doctors, like kind of like they knew they could get this guy to like he'd be like an easy target in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very sad. And also it's like these are like doctors that could prescribe like serious deadly medications. So but I'm happy that there's actually some stuff coming out about it. People are being I guess this actually leads into the question, right? You're going to ask, right? Or the viewer question's coming up in a little bit.
Yeah, we can ask that in a little bit.
Yeah, but like the idea of like, medications and, what's safe and what's not safe. Anyways, we'll talk about that. But anyways, I wanted to just bring that up again because I posted something on our TikTok, as I said. And there's some actually convictions or about that. And, there's still people that are like writing fake prescriptions to people and doctors still giving out medications that should be giving out medications.
It's not all doctors, but it's happening too much. Like even if it's one doctor, that's more than needs to be out there, right? Like
no doubt about it.
Easily writing scripts.
You're killing people here, So
I feel like it happens in Orange County a lot too. Like it's like this is probably one of the.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So I know, like, I was talking to a peer, and they were saying how, like, at least this was like in the Midwest, like. They knew this doctor around town that you can go to. And this was years ago, but like this has led to like the opiate epidemic and other problems right now. So a lot of addictions. But you want to talk about this?
Let's talk about. Let's go into the listener question, and then we'll go into
viewer question. As we said, every week here on Mr. Therapist is a Counselor podcast, because you guys submit them, we want to give it back to you. Thank you for tuning in. We want to answer your questions for you,
and keep bringing them on, dude. Like. We will answer them.
We will answer the questions as best as we can. Like I was telling you, I think this question right here, I don't have a lot of statistics on this. So this would be like if I'm sitting in a room right now clinically, like this is like the feedback I would give like a client.
Yeah.
Or somebody just seeking some knowledge or some feedback.
And it's related to politics since that's the theme of the show here. So, Jesse O., do you all think the U.S. government war on drugs from the 80s to now created a lot of the issues the country has with addiction, cartels, drug classification, incarcerations, rehab facilities, or is the war on drugs needed so that stuff doesn't spiral out of control?
There should be some. Oh man, I had an answer. That's a big question. Thank you for whoever submitted that. You want to talk about the 80s first?
They added here that it seems like the government is losing on two fronts: prescription drugs and street drugs.
We are. I think that the war on drugs, yes, it's a lost battle.
Yeah.
I think that
that started with Nixon, right? Was it Nixon that was like, we're gonna claim war on drugs? I think so.
Well, Ronald Reagan went pretty hard.
Oh, Reagan. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, that was the. Yeah, Ronald Reagan was like really put these like rules on like setting like the war on drugs. To answer this person's question as possible, has it created a lot of issues? Yes, it has. There are a lot of issues because of it. I don't know. I'm sure there's some good that has come through with like having more strict policies, right? When it comes to like different drugs, prescription drugs, cracking down on certain things.
Sure, yeah.
But it's, I don't know. I feel like it's.
I mean, when you think about, criminalizing drugs, I think there is this feeling of security that comes from putting people behind bars when they could be under the influence of something. They could harm other people. They could be just in a different mental space where they're more dangerous. But then the contrary to that, like, we understand that addiction is something that like people struggle with. And there's that video that we referenced before of like that talks about addiction. The opposite of addiction isn't sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection.
Hari, right? We talked about him.
Yeah.
And, he talked about the study over in Europe about how they legalized,
they decriminalized
all drugs, and numbers wise, I heard like it was really good for that country. What country was it? I think
was it Spain?
Yeah, I don't want to misquote it, but it was a European country.
It was a European country. But I'm be honest with you, as a parent, dude, like even if the stats say that is okay, like decriminalizing is the way to go. Like there's some discomfort I have with that, and I just don't know. Like I feel secure in criminalizing drugs, just because, like I would feel I'm unsure, just like. What would that mean in 20 years if we decriminalize? Will everybody be like high and smoking? I guess that's the idea that Joe. What's that guy's name? Johan
Hari.
Hari argues that it's like, no, actually, if you give people the freedom and work on building connection, they don't choose drugs; they choose connection, right? So, but it's just hard for me to trust that would happen.
I don't know. It's like I guess I always think about like how available alcohol has been for years and years and years, right? And like it's problematic. It continues to be problematic. I mean, so it's just like I was just randomly thinking like, what if you can go to the store and buy like heroin, or like what if you go to the store like buy fentanyl or like some type of opiate, if it was just there, Miller Lite or Presents fentanyl, like whatever. Like, I was like, wow, could you imagine that we lived in that type of world? Or like maybe one day you can go to the grocery store and buy like go to Rouse and get like some cannabis or something like that. So I don't know how it's drugs are looked at a certain way, and alcohol is just looked at differently. Alcohol's just more accepted, but I think that they both carry like severe consequences for people. And the war on drugs, like I don't have like I've heard so much about it. I think there was more of an agenda to it, like a financial agenda, which I'm not. I can give you like a fair enough, like an accurate statement, but I feel like there was a lot more to it than just like let's end this.
You're funding a bill, right?
Yeah, like, there's other things to it, and if you mentioned like different like drug cartels and DEA and all those things, like there's a lot of like where things get
politicians get a little bit of that kickback on any bill they sign.
We start talking about something else, so I would say most definitely the marijuana, we've talked about on the show before, it's now just more readily available. It's legal, right? So it's, I don't know. At the same time, right? A drug is a drug is a drug.
Yeah.
So,
as a recovery podcast, do we like endorse like no drugs? Are we kind of like for criminalizing drugs?
Oh, I'm sorry. Putting bills down. For
drugs?
Like
are we kind of like like criminalize it, or are we like people should be able to choose? Or
gosh. That's a good question.
I think about that, bro.
Yeah, because I think I prescribe to the idea of being sober.
Yeah.
If you're not an addict or alcoholic and you can drink responsibly, or hell, I guess use responsibly, like.
That's such a weird thing to say.
It's a weird thing to say because
use heroin responsibly.
Well, yeah.
No.
It's just like, that's a really a good question.
We're not politicians, so we probably don't have the best answer, but it's good to discuss.
Yeah.
It's good. I think I encourage continued discussion around this because I don't know if there is a right or wrong answer. I feel like
it did create more to answer the initial. Like I already said it, I'll just repeat it. I think it created issues. It shined a light on a lot of different things, and some of that stuff is not good and it's not so good. And I don't want to sound like a politician either, where I'm like right down the middle. So I think that there needs to be more education on certain things.
You voted in the 80s, right? Like you were an activist, and
I played with Transformers in the 80s, bro. Okay, didn't do cocaine in the 80s, even though it was banging back then. Like that was the time to do it, right? Yeah. But no, I was straight up on some G.I. Joe and Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant shit.
Wow.
So
wow. You're a 20-year-old that liked Legos, huh?
Speaking of, I want to talk about speaking about voting.
Thank you for the question, sir.
Thank you so much. I hope that was like at least somewhat decently answered.
Yeah, we just it's not the best response.
I was like, I'm down for this. Did you want to bring up the Newsom thing real quick, or do you want to jump right into the topic?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Let's talk about Newsom real quick. So, so there's this.
This is like so I want to real quickly this episode because, like I said at the beginning, like. Yeah, we're going to talk about political stuff, but it's relating to mental health.
Yes, totally.
So go ahead and bring up the news.
And it's related to family, mental health, stuff like that. So you'll get like, don't turn us off just yet, right? We're not going to get cringy here.
Can't promise you from Manny won't get a little cringy. So.
I know, wearing the USA flag on his shirt.
Oh, my gosh.
Newsom, I just wanted to get your perspective
Gavin Newsom is the governor of California.
Yes, governor of California. And so your perspective as a dad, right? Okay, so Governor Newsom signed into law AB 1955, which prohibits public schools from requiring the teachers and employees to disclose information about a student's sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression to another person, including a family member, without the pupil's consent. So you need the kids' consent to be able to talk to their parents about their sexual orientation, their gender identification. So if they identify as gay, straight, bisexual, if they identify as a certain gender, and their gender identity. So if a kid says this to a teacher, the teacher has the ability to withhold that information and not get in trouble from the parent, right? So it's a bill that got signed into law recently this year, and I'm having a lot of discussions around this topic with clients. Like, this is something that some people, you understand, the need to do this, being that unfortunately there's families that don't know how to handle if a child identifies as gay or straight or a different gender identity, and they could put them as at risk of being sort of abused at home, emotionally or physically, or the other side of this is that that as parents, it's like we have the right to know what our child says, and you don't have the right to withhold that from us as their parents. Like, they're our kids, So tell me a little bit of what impression does this have on you as a dad and as a mental health professional? Because
I'm consuming all this as you're saying this as well. So I kind of want to, so as a dad, so for parents listening, right? So like this idea of like our kids could be at risk or. Yeah.
So if a kid says that they're exploring their gender or exploring their sexuality. I don't know, I might be gay, I might not, or I am gay, or I identify as bisexual, or you know what, I feel like, I'm a normal boy, but I feel like I'm identify as a female.
Got it.
And they tell that to a teacher. The teacher has the ability to withhold that from a parent without getting in trouble.
So kind of like if somebody was in therapy.
Yeah.
And they wanted to tell their therapist something, and they didn't want to tell their mom or dad, or they didn't want to tell their Yeah. But so we're looking at is like, at what age should we?
How do you feel about that as a parent? Like, as a parent, like, does it bring anything up for you, or are you kind of like, I got no problem with that? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I have a problem with it because I also am very inexperienced with that because I haven't touched on it. As a new parent, I want to know about my kids. I want to know everything.
Why are you laughing?
Are
you nervous?
I thought you were choking on the water right now. I was like, "Are you okay, bro?" Yeah. So no, as a parent, I want to know everything that goes on with my kids. I got the camera on in like my daycare. I'm like, what's going on with my kid at all time? You know, so like, even though it's like can't watch it obsessively, it's very.
But unhealthy. You do.
I've worked on it. I'm doing better. But I'm not watching as much. But it's hard. That's a tough subject, and as a parent, I'm really kind of like not sure yet. I could see both sides of it. Gosh, I'm so fucking politician on this episode. Holy shit!
Are you scared of like what people might think, or do you really?
I really don't know. I think I'm indifferent on it right now because my kid is not
there. And you might not so some families are very traditional, and
so this is gonna maybe impact your culturally maybe as well. So okay,
what are you trying to say?
Stop.
Yeah, so some families are very traditional, right?
Yeah.
And even it might see, like, especially if they're like super religious group, like they might see sexual identity as like a sin, right? Like if
Yes.
you are changing your identity or sexual orientation is not a certain way, it's sort of goes against spiritual practice, religious practices. And then some parents just come from traditional backgrounds where it's like not, these concepts aren't very accepted, and so they might have a hard time with it, right? So I think that for those families, I think those families might be more scared about this. It's like, wait, if my kid comes and tells you something like this, you're not going to tell me? Like that's probably the parent that's really upset, right?
I'm just trying to like vibe with you a little bit. Like, so like what I hear though is like, which for a lot of parents, it's another fear, right? Like a worry of like our kid. I feel like if your kids trust you, though, I think that they'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe 100%. If your kid's talking to somebody else, if your kid's talking to a teacher or a mental health specialist, not to say that they might want to just share certain things with certain people. That's okay to be selective, because there's some things I can talk about with a professional in comparison to maybe like a friend. It's like you can have that, but like maybe that shines the light on like
the relationship.
Yeah, the relationship aspect of it. Like, guess what? Like, I would hope one day that my kids can, if my daughter used drugs, like she was like, "Hey, Dad, like I smoked weed, like can I talk to you about it?" I'd feel like I didn't do my part if she felt like she had to hide that from me.
Yeah.
So, because I feel like, I don't want to say I did something wrong, but maybe there was something in the way that I communicate with her that she didn't feel like she could be as honest with me.
Yeah. That's the point where I really resonate with you on that. Okay. It's like, because I think a lot of, if we were like to split up, right, people who are more conservative versus liberal, a lot of conservatives are really upset about this bill, right? And so, but my point is where I like to look at this is like, this is not an issue if you work on the relationship you have with your kids.
This isn't a conservative take or a liberal take. This is just a person as a parent, like who, like communication.
If you work on this with your kids, if your kids are afraid to tell you something or don't come up, or are afraid of you for some reason, like that needs to be looked at, right? And that doesn't mean change your values and accept, different values, accept gender identity, gender expression, accept all. I'm not saying you don't have to change that or accept that. Like if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. But there's a way to talk about disagreements, or there's a way to talk about like really hard things without without, I don't know, abusing people, or without like making your kids be afraid of you, right? And so I think I don't know, to me, there is this focus when I hear that. I'm like, okay, let's talk about the relationship you and your son have. How can we improve on this? Yeah. Right? You're over here on this end of the spectrum. They're over here. How do we have a conversation right now?
Sometimes I think that, maybe the example could be if they trust in a teacher, it could be a sounding board to try something out. Maybe, there's a chance that maybe at some point in time my kids don't want to disappoint me and won't let me down. Yeah. So maybe they'll go to somebody first and talk to it, just so they can get kind of like a response or an opinion or some feedback of like, okay, and then maybe they feel more comfortable, and then they can come to me. Sure, maybe at the end of the day, isn't it just like, are we hurt because our kids aren't confiding in us? Yeah. Part of it, like I think that could be part of it, but be okay with the fact that maybe at least your kid could talk about it with somebody, because like even with like sexual abuse, right? Like the person that's usually the abused one takes the blame, right? And the first step, I mean, this is a different conversation with the whole thing that we're talking about Newsom, but like I know that, like so many people, like they'll be scared to tell their parents because it's just like, so like I must have done something wrong. So
they're gonna cut me off. They're gonna make me feel like.
So it's just like, I don't know. I think if your kids at least sharing or talking about something as big and life changing as that, like I think I know there's another aspect of it, like they don't have to tell you this, but I feel like the truth will come out. Yeah. Right?
For sure. Okay. Yeah. I think also, like, I was running a group the other day, and a lot of the parents were talking about, and they were Hispanic and Latino parents, so they were Spanish speakers. They didn't really have a lot of experience knowing how to go into schools and find out, like, how they can become more involved in schools and all that. Yeah. So there was limited capacity in that end, but things like a bill like this, they hear about it, it scares them. And they were talking about like, man, what thing I don't like about this country or where we're at right now, these times, is that it feels like my kid has rights more than I do.
Yeah.
And like that to me, like I don't vibe with, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm the parent. I should be able to dictate what's right or what's wrong for my kid. Not they shouldn't trust them over my decision.
Right.
And so I think, you know, one, I think about like, well, these parents aren't really understanding these laws and like kind of the nuances of, you know, you do have rights over your kid. Like you are the parent. You're right. But there are some families who maybe will put a kid at risk, right? If certain information is brought out. Yeah. You know? And then there's the other argument is like, are teachers the right people to enforce this? Yeah. You know, like, you know, so there's it's just something that's come up a lot in practice. It's come up a lot in just discussion around, especially the political area. Yeah. And I think it impacts family discussions. And it's like, if one thing comes out of this discussion for you, the listener, is have these conversations with your family. Like talk about the thing that maybe is uncomfortable, right? Or like, are you able to create a safe enough space in your household for your kids, your wife, to come to you and talk to you about something? Yeah. Or are they scared to bring a topic up, right? And if they are, then like we got to work on that, you know, as a family.
Yeah. So yeah. You want to get into time session? No, you don't apologize, bro. You're saying sorry and shit. No, sorry. I know you want to talk about this for a long time, don't you? What? You want to talk more about this, don't you?
No. You good? Okay. No, I think I've said what I had to say.
So this week, as we mentioned before, this is the episode that we want to just kind of prepare you. Yes. If you're not prepared already, we're weeks away from the election here.
Sober Tuesday, what you call it? Super Tuesday?
I don't think a lot of people will be sober on that Tuesday. It is Super Tuesday. So it's the election. People are going to vote for, you know, there's a couple different parties out there, but there are usually two that win. Actually, most of the time it's one or the other, right? So there is a lot of anxiety.
Is Kanye West running this year?
He's our president, right? But yeah, so it's Kanye. Yeah, that's good. That's funny, man. But like, so we want to just like listen. We want to prepare you.
You sound uncomfortable.
No, do I? I don't know how to like turn this into like where do we go with this? So the election comes up. People have very strong opinions. People will feel a certain way. You see it on social media. If somebody says like if you start seeing more on social media, right? You'll see like people like pro this, pro that. Like
you got friends blocking friends.
You got like friends blocking friends, like or people, or just like I don't have anything to do with you because of your political beliefs. The country gets really strained at this point in time. We came from the Olympics where we go to come together for the most part to something like the election, which really divides a lot of people, and people have very strong opinions. And also, somebody loses, right? In a sense, like one party's going to lose, and one party's going to have certain feelings about that experience, and there's going to be an unhappiness with the other half of the country. So, so just to stress out everybody some more. No, we're here to like decompress you and bring it down, and maybe take a perspective on like how do you handle the election stress. Yeah.
Are you asking me that question?
I know. I'm just saying. Yes.
How do you feel it? Do you feel election?
We talked about this a couple months
distress?
ago. I'm not like. So I don't watch the debates. Yeah. One day I turned one on, and I have a personal, I have a view, but I felt like I didn't really know.
You know who you're gonna vote for.
Kanye.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
No, I said you know who you're gonna go.
Yeah. They asked me. I was like, part of me was like, I don't know all the facts. Yeah. I was like, gosh, I can't really like. I have somewhat of a biased opinion already. Sure. We talked about this, or you said this to me. You're like, doesn't matter how good somebody does. I think you're still gonna just pull for your party. Yeah. No matter how shitty your candidate is, you're like, well, I got certain beliefs on this side, so I'm gonna stick with this. And that's kind of how my upbringing's always been. It's like you can put up a fucking scarecrow, or Sleepy Joe, or whatever, right? Like what they call a Sleepy Joe. Like you could put, you can put him or the orange Oompa Loompa guy. It's just like you're gonna be like, I love Oompa Loompa doopity doo. Like you're not gonna sway from it. I mean, there are probably some people. I would like to meet some more people that are in the middle, or like I go one way or the other. I feel like most people go one way. Yeah. Even though we know people do swing both ways, right?
Yeah.
But like, no, but like I feel like, okay, so I don't watch.
Trying to recover here.
I know, man. I just got to throw out the jokes like that occasionally, right? Because it's me.
So
and I bring out the worst in you.
You do. Thank you.
So, no, but like, I tried to watch the debates, and I was curious, but I was just like, I don't know which one is factual. So I just...
Dude, isn't it hard to trust, like, everything out there?
I told myself like this. It was like, if I have one of these conversation with somebody, I was like, if somebody finds out what my actual political beliefs are, I'm just be like, I don't really trust any politician. Yeah. So like, and when I say like, I just don't. I think that there's just there is an agenda, and probably all politicians lie. I can't speak for every politician.
Yeah.
But honest politicians, that's kind of like a contradiction, right? Two words. So like, it's just hard to believe any of it. So So yeah, what was the fucking question?
So yeah, like I asked you if you notice any like anxiety around. You said not really, right?
I sound pretty anxious right now.
Yeah, I think you sound nervous, dude.
It's the caffeine kicking in.
It's the politics.
No, it's not the politics.
Sorry.
You know what? Maybe part is like I don't want people to know my party because I feel like if they listen to this, like
that's not what I'm asking you.
I know it's not, but maybe I'm trying to give you an answer. Right
You're trying
now,
to be careful to not lean one way or the other.
I'm trying to be dude. I'm trying to be right down the middle. I want our viewers and listeners to like feel safe because when you go to like when you work with a professional like one of us, like I feel like I don't want that to be a distraction. We talked about being open minded in the last.
Can we talk about that though? Like you are a human being.
Yes.
You have beliefs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you have beliefs?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Do you have preferences and biases and things that you wish were a certain way versus others?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that ever get in the way of you working with clients?
There can be an initial response to something. Yeah. Like I go, oh. Yeah. I mean, maybe on the more severe front, I'm not talking about like your political belief or your. Sure. But like. But like,
do clients tell you I feel unsafe because of what I'm sharing to you?
No.
Yeah. So that can exist, right?
Right.
And I think people got to know that. Like, you can have a difference in belief and opinion, and still feel safe with someone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's important, and that gets lost right now. And you turn on the news, and it's like these beliefs are unsafe. These beliefs are dangerous. And it's like, no, like actually, like. Most people that you meet are really cool people. Yeah. Whether they have your beliefs or not. Yeah. You know?
Or at least we can coexist with people.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not like somebody you want to spend a bunch of time with or go out to dinner with, but it's like, to your point, like, if you put somebody in front of me, I'm not like, hey, what's your political party? Because if you put that out there, I can't work with you. Yeah. Like, it's just, no, I can. You put somebody in front of me who's willing to. Or wants something, maybe they don't know what they want, like, but they want to change something. Yeah, I can. That's not an important thing. It's not an important factor. So
I had so I'm supervising students. I mention this every week. I'm just so proud of myself. So, but one of the things that while we were doing supervision that came up was it was when Donald Trump got the attempted assassination, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I remember it was like 2 days. Afterwards, as we had this supervision meeting, and so I was like, should I bring this up? Should I not? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it because they might go see clients who need to process that, whether it's like, whether they're for Trump or anti-Trump. It's like they might need to talk about it, and these are therapists. These are their space to talk about things like this.
Whatever's going on, yeah.
So I did. I was like, hey. How is everyone feeling around like what happened on was it like a Saturday or something? Donald Trump attempted assassination.
Yeah.
And like the room got like a little weird, but I was like, this is important to happen. This needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I could feel the same energy of like people didn't want to like give off what they supported or didn't support, but it almost felt like that was the expectation, and I was reflecting in my mind. I was like, I'm not asking you that. Like, I'm not asking you who are you voting for.
I think that's it though. I think you're touching kind of what I'm touching on here is that it's kind of it's just so it's a hard thing to get into.
Yeah.
Without like maybe I don't even want to lose viewers or listeners right now. Like I just want to be like, hey, like this is coming up, and like I don't want anybody because. Unfortunately, people will change their opinions of you or me if you really...
Getting the mic there.
Yeah, they would change their opinions about us if they knew what's going on, like what we believed in. So it's just like, I realize you can't people please and make everybody happy. I keep learning that, and I learned that a long time ago. Not that I always used it. So, but that's probably to your point. That's why there was that response, because it's just like, what is this person wanting from me? Instead of like saying, hey, like, this is a world issue, and the world is impacted by this event and our mental health, right? Totally, so.
But this is exactly what we're talking about, and why this conversation is important is because, like, there is an anxiety, there's a discomfort around this climate and around the people that you, that you would encounter from time to time, and the flag that they're displaying on their house garage, and this bumper sticker that they're showing in their car, right? And so I think I just want to encourage people to notice the discomfort, but like we're people, right? And like looking beyond that is, I think, important, no matter where we stand on the fence there, right? Like, I think that's important to say, for people.
For somebody that, is going to go into this as we vote and we'll have our results, the after effects, and maybe we should talk about this like in another episode, but what's important for somebody to know that is like really riding on maybe one candidate more than the other, or like really emphasis, like people will see, like, if both parties, they'll see a huge shift in like how their world's gonna be viewed. Like, there is fear of like, this could become this or this could become that, and then and I understand why some of the fears are, because it really can affect people in all kinds of different ways. If you're talking like bills and legislations and different so what could you tell somebody, because you don't be like, don't worry about it, it's gonna like work itself out, like that's so like past it, and I don't think that's really like, I don't want to process it like that, but like somebody that comes in the session, sits down with you and goes like, I'm really scared about this election, and and then they don't get the results that they want, like what could be what am I trying to say here? What can you walk away from? How can you how do you cope with this?
Yeah.
And then I give you this question, and it's more me just kind of thinking this out loud as well. So
well, there's two things. I think like for us, for our job, like sometimes you're just helping someone learn how they're coping with this, right? You're just holding a space for them to talk about what they're afraid of. Like any fear, right? It's like you're holding that space and helping them understand, like, if this does happen, if the results is something you don't want, like what can you do to just, even if things aren't going to be better, even if the problem won't completely go away, like how can we reduce the effects of the problem just a little bit, right? Just 1%, right? And that might be just thinking about a happy place, thinking about your family, thinking about like the people who are around you, the change that you can do that's in your control, right? So that's one thing. I also think that, like, as we get that way, we get really anxious because of the content we're consuming, I think. You know what I mean? And
that doesn't help at all.
Like either, if you think about it, and there's real shit going on out there. Like real stuff, right? Like real sad stuff.
Yeah.
And I think if you're surrounding your like podcasts, news channels, they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you a point of view. They're trying to sell you where they want you to vote, what they want you to think about, what they want you to care about. And so the best way to do that is through fear. The best way to do that is through like doom, And so I think like just be cognitive of that, right? It's like cognizant of that, like that is like, am I reacting to something that's important to me, or am I like overly consuming something that's making me feel anxious and afraid, and maybe a disconnection from that is important at times.
I think that you touch on the control thing. It's like you can't control wins. You can contribute by voting, participating, but you can control your reaction to whatever happens. And if, as we're leading up to it, you do what you can to participate and help your cause, and whatever the results are, like, we've had a lot of elections and people that, one side wins, as I mentioned, and there will be disappointment, but recognize what you can still do to contribute to that. If you don't like the events of what happens, maybe that will give you some motivation to want to change that for the future. Like, I know there's always that thing of, voting. Like, does it matter? Like, I mean, I feel like if you can contribute in some way, if you contribute in some kind of way, like, do it. Like, participate. People have a lot of strong opinions and they don't get involved in things. So
create awareness around the thing that you are passionate about. You can do that. Like, you can create a fundraiser, create like just an awareness about something that you're around your local community.
This is super obvious. I mean, we already kind of touched on it, but like, if you need somebody to talk to about this stuff, if you're feeling some real feelings of like stress and anxiety and fear, you're depressed. I laugh. Sorry, I just laugh because I fucking do that all the time because I can just be uncomfortable. Maybe this whole conversation is uncomfortable, right? Or if you're depressed from the results of the election, go talk to a mental health professional, right? 100%. Like, reach out, talk to somebody you feel safe to talking to, and like, somebody, and that's what we do. Like, we're right down the middle, when at least when we're in the room, right? We're in the room, in a group room therapy session. We're there to just kind of like hear about your experience. So, and we're really not gonna try to pass judgment on that. Make our very best effort to just be professionals.
Totally. Yeah. Another I think aspect of people that you're probably going to be going through this right now, and might even be feeling burnt out from this, is like family members who share different opinions than you.
Yeah, that can be very hard,
especially November. Like, this is holiday months, right?
Yeah.
And like,
we could sit down at the Thanksgiving dinner table and go, yes, my person won.
Yeah. And
boy, man, that can really trigger like arguments, conflict, drinking, you name it.
Yeah. So just being careful around those discussions, and like, I think it's learning to take some space for yourself, communicate boundaries with your family. Like, some family members will be receptive to like, hey, can we just not talk about this right now?
Yeah.
Like, this is just, let's make family dinner about something different. And if they respect that, that's amazing. And if they don't, like, what else can you control in that moment? Like, do you show up for a little bit and then have an exit plan to how do I leave this family dinner, right? Once things start to get heated, or maybe I don't show up at all, right? And I create like a Friendsgiving or like a family dinner around different family members, right? And that's okay. I think if it's important to salvage that relationship, to not put yourself in that position, then you got to do what you got to do.
So very well said. So do you have any more takes on this right here?
How are we doing with time?
I think we're at a pretty good spot to kind of end it. So
no, just take care of yourself. Mental health shows up in so many different ways, and we're just here to cover all the different ways that it can show up, even when it's an uncomfortable situation with me and my brother.
That's right.
Yeah. So make sure you share the channel, guys. I don't know, if this was helpful. If you have questions around election stuff,
post-election stuff, whatever. Yeah.
If you're wondering why my shorts are so short, just send us a question. We will answer them, and we will answer them here on the podcast. So thank you so much, Jesse O.
As always, check in on your friends and vote. So until next time. My name, tag it home. Today I'm Jack. Greet you like I give a fuck. Are you surprised by that?